doctrine?
I think because of my my experience is that the doctrine carries so much history to what has happened in the United States, and in particular to Native American people. Every part of our being was affected by by the indoctrination process that the doctrine of discovery carries with it. Where, to begin with, we weren't even looked at as being human beings. That's probably the most profound part of that we were just chattel, that we were property, and then sometimes not even property. We were so anyway. But I think looking at that question of what would I like, and what it reminds me of, there was a little Presbyterian church, there still is, in some Nashville. And living with my grandmother and my eldest aunt, we went to that Presbyterian church just about every Sunday. But the interesting thing, it's kind of like coming back to the story I wanted to share with you about my grandfather. They had the longhouse at Canida where they would practice the Washit religion. Well, in the history of Warm Springs, the Wascos were the first to assimilate and adapt to Christianity and to dominant culture ways of existing. And again, because of the continuity in values, very similar values. Well, they were the first to become the police, the teachers. They were the first people to get educated, formally educated. So, and that's on my Wasco side, so I could claim some of that heritage. But coming back to my grandfather, so then because he was a religious leader, he had braids and he was looked upon by the Presbyterians and the powers at hand as being savage and not willing to adopt to Christianity and so on. So they went down, they arrested him, they cut off his braids, they took him over here to Warm Springs and they threw him in a hole where they were going to build a jail. Well, they left him there for 4 days. And then finally they decided to release him. Well, when he got out, he decided, I have to leave because it's not safe for me here, given what happened. So he went to Priest Rapids, Washington, along the Columbia River. And we have some people there, some family. And while he lived there, he befriended a Jesuit priest. And that Jesuit priest and him became very good friends. And then after a year or so, they decided, well, let's go back. You want to? I know you want to go back home, so you go back home, and I'll go with you. This Jesuit, and I need to do research to find out more about who that man was, because I know our good Catholic brothers, they kept very good records. So I want to find that. But anyway, coming back to the oral story. Well, they befriended one another, and what they did was they built 2 longhouses, one for the worship and then one for the Catholic ceremonies. So every Sunday they would do the worship, and then they would do the Catholic all the ceremony that they do, and that was part of I think another part of the connection. Catholics have a lot of ceremony in their religion. So anyway, that was a connection. And then after 11 years of protection, where they practiced the two, the Jesuit decided, well, I think things are okay. And my grandfather said, yes, I think I'll be okay now. So then the Jesuit left, and so that continued in our family. And so there's that connection between not necessarily the Catholic Church, but Christianity and the Washit. And again, the idea of being an eclectic person, that's how I grew up with my grandmother and my mother and my aunts. We respected, and we went to the Presbyterian Church, or would go to the Catholic Church, or the Baptist, for example. But always we returned to the Washit, to the Longhouse. And that was still the main part of our religious experience. It would be coming back to the Washit.
And do you still participate in the Washit Longhouse ceremonies?
Yeah.
But there's a Christian, is it a Presbyterian church that's here?
Yeah, there's a Presbyterian, there's a Catholic, there's a Baptist, full gospel. There's a combination. Like in my writing, I talk about those folks that believe primarily in Christianity, and then those that believe in Christianity and Indian religion, which is called the Shaker, a combination of Shaker ceremony and Indian. And then, of course, there are people like me, and I believe that we need to practice our own religion. But still, again, like my experience, my grandmother's experience, be eclectic, be forgiving, be open in our experience, because I think that would be another part of what I would want to carry to a group like you're talking about getting together with, is that connection that we can make in the commonality of belief and ceremony, and then be able to expand and look outside of that.
Thank you.